Hey Stalwart fam!
Hey.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
My name is Faith.
My name is Michael.
And we are
the
Stalwart
Stalwart
Lovers.
Lovers. Alright, I know it's been a minute, but yes, we are back again. Today we're talking about my failed love story. It's a little bit gonna be juicy and a little bit taking me back to some memories that I
Some
don't really
embarrassing
like.
times.
Some embarrassing times. So fasten your seatbelt. This is gonna be a ride.
Yeah.
Alright. So make sure you watch this video to the end. Alright. It's very important. Okay. My failed love story. Yes, like it or not, I was in love with other people before I met my wife, even though our relationship was my first relationship ever, and the same for her as well. But it wasn't that I didn't try. I had a few people that I had asked out.
Yeah.
I had a few people that I had asked to be my girlfriend, just a few, and I think two of them said no. Two of them were going to say yes. And before I got the yeses, literally two times, I got a spiritual encounter, an interruption, basically. A spiritual interruption whose message was clear that I
Don't
must
have
not.
a girlfriend, though.
The first one was don't have a girlfriend. The second one was
That
what
thing
you
you're
want to
about
do
to
tomorrow,
do.
you must not do it. It was strong with me and I didn't go ahead with it. Basically, I chickened out of getting the
Yes.
yes. And those girls, some of them, they were really hurt. Anyway, but this one that really looked like it was going to be it because I was already grown, mature. I mean, an adult.
All those times that you were
I was
like,
a teenager, all this period.
Yeah.
But this time I was an adult, at least to some extent. And it failed. She never even said yes. So what are the lessons to learn from my failed love
So
story?
how did it start? What was it
Thank
about?
you. Good question. So it started in university.
Okay.
And I don't want to give too much details.
I mean, guys, if you know our videos very well, there's someone you call Sister Esther.
Aha, yes.
So if you know our videos well, like if you've really been an OG, you've watched many of our videos, especially the ones from the past.
Yes.
Like some,
I always use the name Esther because that's not her name. All right. So let's keep saying Sister Esther. So Sister Esther and I were classmates, and I was in love. It started as genuine affection, and I think my first mistake was it grew into infatuation.
Yeah.
That was my first mistake. So it started with just genuine affection, but I was obsessed about the idea because I love hard. I love a lot and I love hard. Even from when I was young, I always believe in love. So I had started picturing from year one, I was already picturing getting married to this lady. And that's obvious infatuation for a young guy like me at the age, So it started that way, but we were just friends. And it took me 5 years of university before I even told her about my feelings. But another thing is my feelings started showing without my words. I think I began to show that I liked her, and I think she noticed. And for her at the time, I just got into school, I'm still young, no relationship. Everybody that looks like is a potential suitor, she was basically just cutting them off, and she cut me off. The feeling was very, very, very sad for me because we were friends, and it was as if we were no longer friends. She would see me, she would not talk to me, she would not greet me, she would talk to my friends, and me and my friends would be laughing. My friend would be making fun of me, when we get back, like, your crush is not even sending you. It was really painful. It was a touching love story, guys. But those ones are not even the big lessons. We'll get to the big lessons soon. But I said that, it started with good affection, but I didn't curb it. It grew into infatuation.
Yeah.
And secondly, I actually started acting it out because it's hard to fake how I feel. My feelings don't lie. And I think that made her start pushing me away, which now took me into a deep dive of feeling, like she doesn't like me and all those things like that. Now, let me jump to the mature sort of discernment. So that feeling consistently stayed. I tried to, break it off, but it stayed so strongly. And I started feeling maybe it's not just that I like this girl. Maybe God is actually leading me to my wife. And at this time, I was already growing in the Lord. I was learning the word. I was, growing spiritually mature. I was hearing a lot of sermons. many of which are the foundations for what we teach today, you know. So I was like, yes, the Lord will speak to me. And I was praying, Lord, show me, show me. And I began to see signs, And when I talk about, you hearing God when God is not speaking, I have experienced it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there was a time that, I'll just have visions. And God speaks to me through visions, like flash, realities. And I'll just play in my eyes very fast. And it will come to pass. And I'll have those visions and I'll feel like, obviously, this is my wife.
Yeah. And just you feeling like, okay, this is my wife, kind of
It
was
solidified the feeling too strongly.
It now made you even feel more in love in a way.
Honestly, like imagine scenarios where I'm just walking on the road and I see a vision that I'll see her now, and I just move forward and she shows up. Just like, oh Lord, it just feels like so spiritually awakening, like as if I'm realizing that that's my wife. You might not like me now, but don't worry, you'll like me soon.
Yeah.
That kind of brother Michael kind of vibe. It was thinking about it now. I'm laughing at myself. I remember walking out of the church service. God, I've been hurt before. So twice now. The first time, so now she liked someone else. There's this guy that was always around her, in a much higher level, always around her. Me and the guy, we've talked. You like this girl, I like this girl. Fine, fine, fine. Guys don't have issues with, I like this girl, you like this girl. It's girls that they can't like the same person.
Yeah.
In fact, sorry.
Still be cool.
Yes, quick story back. Before I even got too matured, two of my friends saw me in the pool of, finished with love. When you say love has wrecked wounded you, and then they were just laughing at me, and then they gave me a song to make me feel better, and that was not. I don't know if you guys know this. It was a secular song. If you're not the one, then why does my soul feels glad today? Something like that. Yeah. No more. That song made it worse because I will now be playing the song. I had a no secular song principle. Not even no worldly song. No secular. If it's not gospel that will not edify me, I was not going to listen to it because I was growing in the Lord and I was building my consecration.
Yeah.
But I took that in and that finished me because I would lie down in my room looking at her picture, playing the song. Imagine how I am just indoctrinating myself into loving someone.
Yeah.
That's real infatuation, like nurturing
nurturing
love
it, like
when you have not felt the leading.
And that was even before you started seeing spiritual.
Even before. So
things like
I have reason to doubt all those spiritual things. I feel like I just emotionally connected with her so much. And of course, spiritual sensitivity could make me just by word of knowledge know that someone is going to show up or what someone's going to wear tomorrow. Like when I said God was training me to hear him. And I feel God also made me go through this so I can have lessons.
Yeah.
But let me not make the video long. Fast forward, I had dreams that insinuated that she was the one. I had word of knowledge several times. The time when I walked out of church was when after playing the keyboard, I went to sit down and then the other guy went to sit down next to her and I just felt like, why are you sitting next to my wife? And I was so angry, so full of rage, and I walked out of the church service. Oh my God, Lord have mercy. But fast forward, what are the other lessons? I learned that I could be feeling led by the Lord, but really not being led by the Lord. Someone walked to me after tribe and asked me that, do you think when you think God was speaking to you and wasn't speaking to you, was it that God was wrong or what? I said, no, I was wrong.
Yeah, you had actually let your feelings go.
Yes.
Like way ahead.
Yes, because knowing you now, there was no way you were not God's perfect choice for me.
Yes, and she didn't even like you.
That's the sin. Second mistake, second lesson, I didn't read the signs. She actually didn't like me. I don't think she liked me enough for love, for a relationship.
Yeah.
I must have deceived myself enough that if I stayed, if I persisted, maybe she would begin to like me. And the way we used to feel back in the day when a girl is proving hard to get, it means that she wants you to go further. and persist even more.
I mean, I think guys are starting to
I think we are
learn.
wiser now.
I think guys are wiser now because most guys I see these days, if a lady is saying no, 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 they're like, okay,
Yeah.
no problem. They let you go.
Yeah,
They
because
don't even.
if a girl likes you, she likes you.
If a girl likes you, she likes you. She would really come around.
She
Like,
will want to talk to you, even if
yeah,
she's really guarded, which
yeah.
is fine.
But she
She
will
will
feel
still be,
something for you.
yes, she will be comfortable with your presence around all the time. She wouldn't really have issues with that.
Yeah.
Some girls have a very strange way of showing affection, to be very honest, including this lady. But I feel like enough signs that she didn't like me were out there,
Yeah.
and I wasn't reading it because I
Yeah.
was trying to build a stalwart love from that relationship. I was building my heart to be a stalwart lover. I was building myself up to be a stalwart lover, to be honest, and
Yeah.
it helped me in my marriage anyway. You
To
know,
love in a loyal, sturdy,
yes,
hardworking manner.
yes. All right, so that's another lesson. I hope you are taking notes. All right, that's another lesson. I didn't read the signs. I really didn't read the signs, and there were too many signs out there. Yeah. So now I finally asked her out.
Yeah.
Before I did that, I spoke to my spiritual mentor, my relationship mentor, my parents. I took the right process, and he was asking me, "Are you sure you've heard the Lord?" I said, "Well, I wasn't sure, but I just feel like if I don't ask her now, when am I going to ask her? Because we are
Yeah.
going to,
Pathways.
pathways and go for youth service and all that. I just really
That's like
felt
finishing university.
finishing university and all that. I just really felt like at least the worst is she tells me no and I move on instead of holding on to this feeling for the last 5 years and
Yeah.
wishing what could ever be. Like if I never got a no from her,
Yeah.
it might have been so hard to know like what could have been. And then I felt at the time I heard the Lord speak to me that I should go ahead
In a
and
way.
ask her. Maybe God even told me to go ahead so I can get my no
And move
and
on.
move on, because
Yeah.
I was doing my devotion one time and I felt the Lord leading me to speak to her because it was consuming me. And then I spoke to her and she said no. Now she didn't say no immediately. She said I told her that she should take her time and get back to me. And she got back to me via text. I think a week later or 3 days later that she doesn't feel the same way and she's sure she never will. Ah, and that was a blow to my chest. That was the real
Yeah.
heartbreak.
Yeah.
That was it.
I mean,
That was the real heartbreak.
yeah, for me, as a child, as a girl, I've always, like, my mom had always taught me from when I was like maybe 8 years old. From when I was like maybe 8 years old, that, oh, don't tell a guy, just if he wants to say no to a guy, just tell him no. Don't abuse him. Don't demoralize him. Just tell him no. If you say, I don't want, if he says, oh, will you be in a relationship with me? And you say, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. That's okay to let him know anything that you want him to do. Don't ever like insult a guy, abuse
Yes,
a
don't be
guy.
insultive. Even though that was not insultive,
It wasn't insulting, but
it was
like
still
just
a
say no
little
if
bit
you want to say no. Don't demoralize him in the process.
cruel.
Don't be cruel in the process.
Yes. To be honest, like you're sure you never will. Like, are you saying you can never love someone like me? I was just reading all.
And although you were kind of overthinking,
Yes, I
it
mean,
switched
I
on
found
your.
out that she was dating someone that I knew, but at the time, both the person and her, they never made it public. So, and I was close to the person too. So I didn't expect it, and
Yeah.
it felt like you're sure you never will. Like all you had to say was no.
Yeah.
It just was the crowning to all the, I don't know how to put it, not to paint her in a bad light, but not so good treatment that I had
You
had.
see from her,
So
right?
it was a mix of sometimes she'll be so friendly, sometimes she'll be like, I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
feel
talk to
like she
you.
was in a crossroad because she didn't want to just not be friends with you, but at the same
Yes.
time, she didn't want to be
Give
friends
me
with you so that
a
you don't
vibe that
feel like
she likes
she
me.
likes you. Yeah,
Yes. I
because
mean,
any form of friendliness from how you probably would have interpreted it
as love
as
self.
love.
Yes.
So she was trying to kind of keep you in check, but at the same time, she was
Not lose the friendship.
not lose the friendship. So that's why she would be friendly one day and then the other day she's like, bam.
Plus, also she was also young, and I'm sure like
Yeah, she wasn't
when we are
mature
young
as
with,
well.
yes, immaturity played along in my side and on her side as well. So I take no offense,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. I feel like even those things could be her own way of defending herself
Mm-hmm.
against awkwardness and awkward
Yeah.
questions and stuff like that. But that answer it hit me hard. I was eating rice and fish in one of my friend's house that time. I can't forget the moment. I started sweating. But anyway, that was it. I just
Hope you did
realized
not drop the food. I mean,
no, no,
finish
I
your food.
finished my food. I mean,
I
I finished my food. I
thought
went.
the heartbreak will hook your neck.
No, 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 no. But it did me bad because it made me feel like I wasn't handsome. Because if I have loved someone for 5 years, the least was that the person loved me back but was not willing to go on a relationship with me.
Mm-hmm.
But saying that you never will made me feel that way. And maybe that's a lesson for ladies. Think about the person and how your response is. It might
Yeah, be
not be a bad
graceful.
response entirely,
Mm-hmm.
but it hit me bad. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel handsome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I didn't want to hear about love. I was hurting. You know the way you don't like when you have church hurt and
Yeah.
you don't want to hear pastor, church, or anything. I had
Yeah.
love hurt. And then I was in church a few months after, and it was time for relationship seminar.
I literally left
And after I finished playing the keyboard for choir administration and the relationship minister came up, I am a relationship lover.
person.
I have soaked relationship sermons. When the person came up, I walked out.
Uh,
I didn't want to hear anything about love, finding the right partner, anything. Which right partner? From like all I thought I knew was, I walked out. I went to have fun. And after the service, I came back and we shared the grace. You know, but my lesson there was sometimes learn to take no
mm-hmm.
well. Take it well. It's not the end of the world. Someone that you like does not like you does not mean that you're not handsome. It took
Yeah,
me a
that's what I said.
while.
Like you kind of overthought it. You
Yes, it
know.
took me a while to get out of that. And it's because of how deeply I was in love.
Mm-hmm. With
Trust me, it
her.
took a while to be out of love
Mm-hmm.
with her, even after the no. Because I kept trying to just be, okay, let's just be friends at least. And at the point, she was like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't want to chat with you. Blah, 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 blah. Man, it was hard. But when I decided to let go, and I've talked about it, if you've not seen the video, I talked about how I knew she was the one. The day I decided to let go, deleted her number, deleted her pictures, because I was saving pictures in
Inside
Google
Google
Drive.
Drive.
Google Drive that on our wedding day will be showing the slide like when we're in 100 level, when we're in 200 level. I was labeling the pictures because whenever we snapped together, we used to look like one perfect couple. So I went to delete all of them, and then the next morning God spoke to me, and God spoke to me just the way after Lot and Abraham separated.
Yeah.
God now spoke to Lot and said that, look, as far as
Your
your
eyes
eyes
can
can see.
see. Yeah.
That was when God spoke to me that I'm going to find my wife. And that same day was the day I saw you again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the journey started. It was a new journey from then. And I think it helped me so much. That's the long and short of the story. I don't know if you had any lessons. If you had any lessons, particularly to you, if you are free to share, drop it in
The
the comment
comments.
section. Can we summarize the lessons in a bit?
Okay, I think the first lesson that I saw was you kind of let your feelings go ahead of you. You
Yes.
let the infatuation take over you. Like you didn't, and that's why I would always encourage people to kill crushes.
Yes.
Kill a crush before it takes
So you
over
can
you.
think straight.
So you can think straight and know their feelings. Because if you had killed the crush, you
Mm-hmm.
probably would have been able to now see her differently. That okay, I don't think this girl really likes me.
Yes.
Maybe I should just stop this feeling and just be friends and just give my distance. If she was going to
Absolutely.
come around, she would have come around again. So
Absolutely.
that was a lesson. And then another lesson I think was that you kind of took the no kind of too hard.
Yes.
You took it to heart like a lot. And me, I also picked a lesson from that so that don't let a guy down easily. I mean,
Yeah. Just say no.
don't finish it with the no like
Don't give him brutality, Mortal Kombat.
except if he's like maybe or too much on your case. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if he's so persistent, then maybe you tell him that, bro, see, I don't see you that
But are
way.
you sure that if she said no in a very easy way, do you think you would have lost?
I would have still left her now. Even with the so-called terrible no, I still try to at least let's just be friends. We were
Yeah.
friends before.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that a no a no to a relationship to stop a friendship.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't believe in it. I mean, right now we are friends. We actually chat once in a while because what did I do? I still reached out. After several years, I still reached out. That's how I teach my heart that I'm not hurting. You know, that's I don't know how to just block somebody forever.
Yeah. And what other lessons did you learn?
I feel like the biggest lesson is that you can think God is speaking to you, but God is not speaking to you.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
think God is speaking to you, but
But
that's
your
not God for
emotions
you.
are speaking and it looks spiritual.
Yes, it will look spiritual because your emotions are intertwined with your spirit at the time. You've not been
Yeah.
able to break
Divide it.
the clear division. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. So that's why we encourage,
So
don't
the
let,
word of God, divides the soul and spirit. You
that's
understand?
why the word of God is quick and powerful, you know. So don't let your emotions go too much before you make a decision, before you try to say you want to get a leading from God. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. You even think you've heard the Lord,
Yeah. You think you
but it
heard.
wasn't the Lord. Because see, I have absolute confidence in the fact that she was not the will of God for me in any way.
Yeah.
There was
I
no
mean,
way,
thinking about knowing her a lot
and knowing me,
at that time, and knowing you now, you always see the contrast. Like, oh,
yes, like
this wouldn't have worked.
whenever I looked at my future, I see this. I see us teaching people and all those things. She was never going to be that kind of person. I
Yeah.
don't think I would have built the Stalwart Lovers with that kind of partner. You know, so you
You
are,
even said it now
yeah.
that you are sure that you probably would have actually broken up with her.
Yes, I always
If
say
she
if we
said
had even
yes.
started, I'm sure it will have broken because we would not have had what it took to sustain the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, anyway, that was it. That was my failed love story, and I hope you had some lessons from it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So please make sure you like this video, drop a lovely comment below. Anything that resonates with you, whatever lesson you also picked, just drop it in the comments as well, and share this video with everyone that you know. All right, guys. So till we come here again
Keep loving.
and keep believing,
We are
the
the Stalwart
Stalwart
Lovers.
Lovers.